welcome to August 2nd Sunday's transmission. I'm Jessica Alstrom. I am the CEO of Transcendence Wellness Center and the creator of Quantum Life Community and Tribe and TICA, which is Transcendence International Consciousness Academy. And what that is it's basically an academy and a university of higher self. So I've been a channel, a teacher, a life coach, a medium, a crazy person for most of my life, but professionally for about the last 8 years. And I have been helping people through their ascension process, through their awakening process. And I help them put the dots together through all of the modalities of spiritual awareness, textbooks, books, theory, meditation, guidance, and bring it into a cohesive 4th grade understanding of metaphysics, spirituality, and intuition. So today I am bringing you a message from the beyond, from behind the veil, to help you understand the times that are changing and what will be unfolding over the next year very, very quickly. But before I do that, I wanted to make a very special announcement and honor our graduates. So in our year-long Transcendence International Consciousness Academy program, which usually takes a year, I've had some people do it in 3 months, I've had some people do it in 3 weeks, but most people like to spend a year diving down deep into the filtered systems of their own ego and clearing out and unlearning all that we have been taught that is untrue for ourselves. So in that process of a year or 3 months or 3 weeks, we've had over 40 graduates. But today I get to, in this second Sunday, honor, what's happening? Honor 22 graduates. And to me, what is a graduate? To me, there is nothing that you are here to ever learn. You didn't come to my academy to become a spiritual teacher. So the graduation process is very egotistically, third-dimensionally designed to help you feel complete. But you've always been complete. And this is just a recognition of you saying, I am complete. Because in my program, when you're done, you tell me when you're done. Now, if you don't ever tell me when you're done, I kind of kick you out of the nest within a year because I know you're done. And in this time frame, I want to honor 22 new graduates of the TICA program that have spent the last year diving down deepest into the deepest parts of their own health, diving down deepest parts of their own shadow to find the gold underneath. These graduates are alchemists. So I wanted to just read their names and just speak briefly about each one of them. I won't take a lot of time. But if any of these people speak to your heart just in their name alone, I would ask you to Google them. And I would ask you to follow what it is they're doing because it might be in alignment with who and what you are. Maybe they have a story to tell that will unlock some DNA for you, some codes for you, some understanding for you. And in that process, we all need that light within us to help us remind us of our own light within. So again, as I read the names, you can close your eyes, you can just feel. These are the people who have graduated from our quantum time travel programs, our quantum university, our University of Higher Self, our TICA program. And the first one is Katie Gieselman. And Katie Gieselman came to me, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And she sat down in my chair and all I saw was light. And so for the next year, I spent trying to convince her of what I could see so easily on the outside. And she spent a lot of time telling me who she wasn't. And then we finally met in the middle, and she grew her wings. And now she's out holding space for this transition. She's out becoming the goddess within. She's out there doing exactly what her heart's desire, her highest level of potential, and her heart is guiding her into the direction of where she is most able to hold the potential of where the planet is moving. She's also a mom, and in that right, the divine feminine is what will shift this planet back to love. The next one is Gail Dominguez. Gail Dominguez is our Jersey girl. She's a badass. She's an artist. She's a talented, intuitive life coach. She's helped hundreds of people all over the world by just being herself, whether it's by making her jewelry or life coaching people in our TICA group or having her own clients. She's a fundamental piece of the divine goddess. And you can find her on Facebook, you can find her on Instagram. I believe she's got her own website. And I would love after Second Sunday if we could actually list everybody's new websites, if they're not a Transcendence life coach, if they have moved off onto their own. I would love to have that listed, Amber. And the next one is Angela Machette. And Angela came to me already a spiritual teacher. She had already taken a couple of other programs, and she was one of my fastest students through the program, because when I would see her in class, she was getting the answer by the time I was downloading it. And she was teaching classes during her time as a student. She was already moving into that place of spiritual teacher within just a few weeks of the internship. And now she is a very successful life coach. She is a play therapist. She works with essential oils. She uses the brain tap device to help people move into meditation. And I believe that she is really building her name as a spiritual teacher. So, love to all of you. Al. Al is my ancient warrior. Al is one of the first generation indigos, stubborn as they come, wise as they come. He has blessed us with clearing and sacred ceremonies for all of our properties here at Transcendence. He walks amongst the ancient spirits, and he utilized TICA to help him ground more in the stars. He spent a lot of time in the earth plane walking to be the light for others, which is a very heavy burden. And so getting to have his time here with TICA reminded him that there's a lighter side to the planet. And he's able now to guide people through wherever they are, through the remembrance of love through the ancients. So Al can be found on Facebook, and we'll have to find out if he has he's probably wandering the planet somewhere doing what he does. Burr Malloy is our fiery, wonderful gal from Ireland. And whenever we talk to her, we have to censor her mouth, because she's such a fire girl. She is a true essence of a goddess. And she's holding space in a very difficult place right now. She's holding a space where there's not many other like her around her. So she's holding it down over there. And she is learning at such a rapid rate that she went through such a fast transition the first year that she was with us, that she went through many life changes. It was like the butterfly effect over and over and over again. And now she has her wings, and she's doing exactly what she's needed to be doing. We probably need to follow up on that part of the planet and see where she is. All right, Donna. Donna is our mystic. Donna is our goddess of love. She is all-inclusive with the idea of love. There isn't anyone that Donna doesn't love. And her time with Transcendence has always been about showing people who they are while she was learning who she was. She's a fantastic life coach. She's an amazing friend. She's an awesome guide. And she's also an avid supporter. I've never met anyone who was such a supporter of other people's dreams and goals without at all moving into the comparison on the outside. She's just a lover of life. And we need more lovers of life. We need those spiritual teachers out there that are just there to support in love and find, while they're in the pursuit of finding their own. And now I believe she teaches the self-love programs. Is that what she's doing? We'll have to follow up. Lubomira, Holland? She moved.
I think so.
Norway?
She's in Norway.
She's in Norway. She is, wow, when I met Luby, she was as big as the sun. She was, when the first day I met her, I tapped into her energy frequency, and she was holding a 6-dimensional frequency. And I asked her, how are you doing that and staying human? And she said, I'm sick. And so she's dealt with every health issue on the planet because of the amount of vibration that is waiting to bust out of her. She is a healer, she is a channel, she is a teacher, she's a life coach. She is a phenomenal being of light who is going through her own process of ascension, just like the rest of us. And anyone who knows, while we're here being a messenger and we're also trying to find our own message, is the most difficult journey, isn't it? Finding our own truth while we spread the truth is not an easy task. We find ourselves sick, alone, broke, timeless. We find ourselves stuck in time. We find ourselves feeling lost in a world that hasn't accepted us because we haven't learned how to accept ourselves. And Luby is one of the ones who began to use different languages to share the message of the quantum information of light. So my heart goes out to you, Luby, wherever you are. I know you got to move where there was more sun, which was your highest excitement. So we'll find her somewhere where the sun is. Katie Banks. Katie Banks is a soulmate for me. Katie Banks is, I've traveled many, many lifetimes with her, some good, some bad, some frustrating, some wonderful, and we came together for a specific unity and expansion of transcendence. She started off as a client, she turned into a student, and then very quickly she turned into a teacher for me. And she has been one of the strongest teachers in the last 6 months for me to wake up out of my own ego. So her and I came together like two fireballs, and in the ethers we are the best of friends. And in the physical reality, we are both working through our own identities to find what it is to be a healer, a teacher, a friend, a sister, a goddess. And she is an ascension coach now, and she is a phenomenal sound healer. She is a phenomenal life coach. She is one of the best life coaches I've ever met. And she is holding it down in Overland Park. All right, we have Audrey Parker. She is my emotional goddess. She has spent many times with me in my dark hour of Second Sunday, which, believe it or not, is not the easiest thing for me to channel because I have to go deep into the collective, and she's held space for me. So she's been a teacher, a friend, a companion, and also a bright light for all of Transcendence. She is a yoga teacher, she's a healer, she's an artist, she's a mother, she is a friend, and she is doing a lot in our community right now. She is offering classes, she's teaching, she's holding space for her family to awaken more greatly. She's raising the new kids, and she is a big part of what's going on here in Kansas City. We have Ashley Pinkerling, and she is my soul sister. You've probably seen her in some of the photographs that I've taken because she has that natural essence of what a goddess is. She's comfortable in her own skin, and her mission when she started TICA was self-love. And through her process of the TICA program, that is exactly what she moved into belief with and became a model. She became a model, but much more than a model, she actually became the essence of self-love, because it takes a lot to put yourself out there. It takes a lot to put yourself out there when you don't feel perfect, when you don't feel enough, when you don't feel that you have everything to give. And yet she stood in the presence of her own unique soul signature and said, "This is me." And through that, we'll be channeling all of her life coaching and her classes and her workshops through that self-loving process of understanding that goddess within. So she's one of our A-team members here at Transcendence. She's a life coach, she's a mentor, she's a friend. And she is a phenomenal, phenomenal being of light. So, Leslie McDonald. Leslie is in Denmark. She is, wow, again, another bigger than the sun being with the potential of all of the galaxies rolled into a perfectly fiery little personality. She is a sound healer, a color therapist. She is a time travel specialist. She is a quantum life coach. And when we started working together, I was urging her eagerly to coach right away. I was pushing her because I knew that she was ready. She's been ready for lifetimes. And she went through a process of feeling that on her own and then moving that into a place where she really was ready. And she just finally left the nest and is living her heart's desire exactly where she's supposed to be right now, doing the things that she's supposed to be doing with color and with young children and with other people who are waking up through that aspect of color therapy and time travel and quantum healing. So we love you, Leslie. Come on in, everyone. Christine Grossman is our true confidant and friend. She joined TICA for the experience, not to become a life coach, not to necessarily become a spiritual teacher, but to more just connect deeper with her higher self and more aspects of herself. She's a very talented musician, and she is one of the most intelligent beings that I've ever met, and funniest as well. She's a riot. And a natural life coach. She is probably just by being in her presence, you'll feel better about yourself. Just by being in her presence, you'll know more of who you are. And by the music that she plays, there are things dimensionally happening that the third dimensional mind could never understand. But by just being in the presence of her music can totally shift the paradigm within you. And so she is one of our ongoing students who kind of comes to classes when she needs them and then flies the coop and shares the message with her families, with her friends, with her colleagues, and in her music. So we love you, Christine. We miss you. Lauren Miller is our Nashville girl holding it down in Nashville. There's some big things going on in Nashville right now, energetically, that I will get into when I start doing the second Sunday. So I'm very excited that we have a couple of TICA students actually in Nashville, especially around the eclipse. And we'll get into that. But Lauren was probably the person that I met besides Aaron on the planet that was the closest frequency to myself. So of course we got in lots of trouble and fun together. And she's a soul sister, a goddess. She is a talented life coach. She has just a knack and an understanding for astrology. She was the first person who ever did my charts, believe it or not, last year. And I was blown away because apparently I'm supposed to be doing exactly what I'm doing. And she's just been an amazing friend. She's an indigo. She's the millennial spirit of just knowing exactly who she is at a deeper level, and then fighting the good fight of how to prove that to the world, just like the rest of us. So she's holding it down in Nashville, life coaching and becoming more of her goddess, becoming more of her higher self, and moving into the direction of her heart's desires. Sarah Jane Bryant. Okay, what do we say about Sarah? Sarah, Australian firehouse. She actually came to Transcendence on vacation to just spend the week with us last summer. And she is one of these energies that was born awake, fully awakened, fully tapped into her divine power. And her only challenge has been finding other people to play with. Because she's always had such a good sense and understanding of who she was. But when you don't have anybody to play with, sometimes you think there's something wrong with you. And so that's her journey. Her journey is looking for her center point, her counterpoint, her soul fire mates, her tribes. And as she moves very, very quickly through her own ascension process, which can be a lonely place at times because you leave people behind, it is also a place of grounding in and sharing with the world your unique frequency. She's a healer, she's a teacher, she's a phenomenal life coach. You can find her, she's got her own channel, I believe, on YouTube. She's got her own Facebook page, and she donates information to Quantum Life occasionally and makes videos for us. So she's a phenomenal person to reach out to. Danielle's holding it down, Danielle Doobie. She is holding it down in Kansas City as an artist. She's an intuitive, she's a medium, she's a galactic healer, she sings the songs of the stars. She is the all-encompassness, she's the triple threat. She's in Kansas City having classes, doing painting classes and workshops. She's at the fairs. She's really at the ground crew of bringing people into that space of higher awareness within themselves, so that they know exactly who they are and they can touch her and they can feel her and they can have access to her right here in Kansas City. I know she's made videos. I know she's done sound healing videos that you can find on YouTube. So we'll try to get everybody's pages listed underneath. Kara Cook, who sits in our audience, our saint slash sinner. She is officially done with the program, but she's here with us to just nurture herself more and be a part of our team. She is a nurse by day, galactic goddess healer at night, raising new kids, holding space in the medical, that third dimensional medical reality where she gets to be the angel that walks around and guides with light. She's going through big life transitions just like the rest of us, and we're all together working in tandem right now to help get everybody so that they are not just constantly holding space for others, but able to hold space for themselves. And that's where she's really coming into. She's coming into her own. So she's made a lot of videos for TICA. We need to get her to get that mainstream because she's got a lot of information that the world needs, and she's got really awesome indigo-based political views as well that she can share when she's ready. Push her. All right. Mary Bennett. Mary Bennett is another graduate who is still in the academy, just to be a part of what we're doing. She is a healer, she's a medium, she is a goddess, she is a very talented artist. She is a professional space holder.
Yep.
She is a mother to the new children, and she's an amazing friend. And she is soon to be life coaching. Again, we're pushing them out of the nest here. And you can find her on Facebook. I'll be pushing her to get her. Is your bio up yet?
Not yet.
Untapped talent. We need to rise to the surface. Okay. Erin Perigo. You guys probably all know Erin by now. She is my housemate. She is a soulmate to me. She is a dear friend. She's an A-team member. She is our kind of Transcendence kind of nutrition specialist, health coaching background. She's a mother of the new children, which caused her to learn nutrition very quickly, at least the right type of nutrition. And she is also an amazing life coach, a very talented healer, an amazing friend, and she has a very successful blog and website that we will list afterwards. And she actually just kind of went public last week with her becoming story about her life that has moved into total transition of her moving into an unapologetic goddess. So that's what I would call Erin. Annette came to me a long time ago, and I didn't ever feel like I had anything to teach her. If anything, I had a lot to just commune with her. She is one of the original indigos that has been a quantum healing specialist for as long as I've known her. She's getting ready to move to Hawaii to hold space there and open Transcendence Hawaii and offer workshops and all kinds of things. So you can find her, hopefully. You can find her as an A-team member in TICA, but you can also find her in her own website. Yes, okay. So Frank, everyone knows Frank. We all love the F-bomb, right? Frank is, he's a soulmate. He's part of my soul family, and he came to me, I don't know, what is a year and a half ago? A year ago, and we connected instantly, and I started off as his teacher, and quickly he became mine. We started collaborating in books together and writing our book together because he has an editing background and I have a mouth. So that's how that worked. And so he's been kind of translating my thoughts into the written word for me over the last year. He's helped tremendously with the business side of Transcendence. He has been our father figure, our husband figure, our IT guy, our confidant, our ticket mail in the house. And he's a phenomenal life coach, an amazing poet. To me, a poet is a channel. He's an amazing writer. His words is his gift to the universe. And his coaching abilities are all about truth. So I would definitely recommend looking him up and picking his brain, because he is just, again, he's just a wealth of information, knowledge, wisdom, and the heart of gold. So we love you, Frank. Rochelle Glenn. Rochelle came to me already a spiritual teacher in disguise. She had already gone through such a huge transformation by the time I met her that I knew that really what she was just looking for was maybe a support system, maybe to correspond and pick brains with other like-minded people who were probably more advanced than the average 29-year-old you meet out in the world. She came to me with this giant smile. If you know Rochelle, you know her giant smile, and that's her heart. She came to me, and she had this 30 before 30 list. And I'm thinking, God, where was I when I was 30? Probably in a hole somewhere, right? And she has this 30 list, and she had accomplished like 80% of them but when I first met her. And I literally, and this is probably something I've never shared with you, I sit in awe of you. And I just think that you are so amazing, and you have such a positive outlook on life that there will be nothing that will ever hold you back. And so I get to watch you, I get to learn from you, and I get to act as a friend and a guide while you're in the program, even though you were one of the ones who was like, okay, I'm done, when can I start life coaching at like 1:30? So, but we knew that. She has her own life coaching business. She's on Instagram, she's on Facebook. She's a talented artist, she's an amazing friend. She is a gifted healer within. And literally, I believe that there are people who just heal with their eyes and heal with their smile and heal with their words and heal with their writing. And that is a totality of Rochelle. So look out for her, because she's like the next Tony Robbins in female form for sure. All right, well, that is the 22. Let me put this over here. I'll probably have to get back in the shot. That was the 22 graduates, and if anybody knows me, that's my number. So it's ironic that in August we are announcing 22 graduates. And to me, you know, someone who didn't have a friend in the world or a teacher at all when I first moved to Kansas City 8 years ago, I now have friends, teachers, companions, soulmates, twin flames. I have an abundance of people that I can learn from every single day, and I think that that's what it's about, because as we move into the channel transmission today, these are the most exciting times of this place in the universe, of this time in the universe. And we will never experience what we're about to feel. What's happening on the planet has been happening, but now it's catching up to the feelers. It's catching up to the emotional side of us. It's catching up to the manifestation of who and what we are. And as we go through this process, it's going to be a lot easier when we have other like-minded people, communities, ideas, information, teachers, students, to bounce our feelings and hopes and dreams and fears and worries and concerns and ideals off of each other. This is what we need more than anything. More than we need teachers right now, we need companionship. We need non-judgmental companionship during this time, because this isn't the time to be taught. This is the time to remember. This is the time to remember who we all are. And your best friends are the ones who are the closest version of you that can remind you of who you are when you don't feel like yourself. So the companionship is going to be at the root. It's going to be your security blanket moving forward. Your tribe has never been more important to you, and it doesn't mean that that tribe can't change as you level up. As we move into August, well, first let me back up. So I got very ill last night, and the reason why is because when I usually channel for TICA, I am channeling for teachers of spiritual awareness. I am channeling for spiritual enlightened ones. I'm channeling messengers, I'm channeling empaths, and when I channel Second Sunday, I have to dig my ankles down into the collective vibration of the planet, and I have to channel for everyone. And this is my scariest time of the month, but it is also because I have to go in and feel things that are uncomfortable to be able to give a transmission that relates to not just my team, but my planet, my people, my light beings that don't know their light yet. And last week, I've been teaching, if you're in TICA, that the collective belief system that was rising to the surface last week was blame. There was an ungodly amount of blame that was just rising inside of everyone, even our teachers, even our messengers of light. This weird shifting energy of blame. And blame, which means is, I don't want this to be my responsibility. I don't want this to be my fault. And that comes from fear. That comes from fear of, I don't want to be responsible for all of this. This is too much. This is happening. This can't be my fault. And as we know as teachers, we are able to feel that, but it doesn't mean that we're able to believe that. Because we have to be the ones who understand that feeling that's coming through us, and then transcend that back into love, and then guide others through that personal journey. So if you've been feeling that way lately, it's okay, it's normal, it's natural, it's a clearing process. All of those lower dense emotions and feelings need to be purged from the deepest places within you, so that you may be the purest form of yourself moving into the ascension phase. That's all that's happening, is you are being purged. You're being purged of all your grief, of all your loss, of all of your confusion, of all of your anger, of all of your blame, of all of your shame, of all of your humiliation. And how do we bring these things to the surface? We manifest situations, symbols, to bring back the feelings that we've suppressed, disassociated with, and denied since we buried it deep within us, whether that be this lifetime, or the last, or the first. It doesn't matter, because this is the great timeline shift. We are purging ourselves so that we can lighten up. Density does not ascend. Light ascends. So you're going through a clarification, purification process within your own being right now. And you're manifesting carrots and symbols and circumstances that will get you fired up the most. That is why your life is unfolding the way it is. That's why the old fears, that's why the loneliness, that's why the despair, the confusion is so right in your face right now, because your higher self guides your manifestations now, not you. You know, I've stomped my foot recently. Why can't I have what I want? My higher self says, you don't really want that. You think you want that because it's going to make you feel better about all this feelings that's coming up, and that's not really what you want. And then, you know, I throw a tantrum and it's over. And we clear it out, and then I realize that I know what's best for me. It's like tough love coming directly from higher self into your life, manifesting the craziest things that you could manifest to get you to wake up, because you need to be awake for what's coming. You need to be awake for what's coming in the next 10 days. And the reason why is because this Lionsgate energy that came through is like back to school night. We talked about this in TICA, and I gave this reference of, you know, you've been having this great time and now it's back to school. Everybody's got to get serious about their journey, regardless of where you are. If you're in kindergarten, you're about to get serious in kindergarten. If you're starting college, and I'm talking about the spiritual journey, you're about to get real serious about your journey. And life is going to unfold in a way where you are going to get serious about it. Whatever it takes for you to become serious about your journey will happen and unfold for you in the next 10 days. Or has already happened. It's getting your attention more and more and more. The things, kindergarten no longer satisfies a college student. We know that. Doesn't mean you don't go play there occasionally, or work there, or live with people there. But it doesn't mean that that's going to resonate with you anymore. Because the lunar eclipse was the pivotal point for the grid workers to lay down the grids, to activate the planet moving into physical manifestation of 5D. It's been 5D for a while, but it hasn't been the physical manifestation until now. And as the 888 Lionsgate moves through us, it's like the universe handing out class schedules. That's what the Lionsgate was, is you got your class schedule and you're either having a tantrum about it, you're scared to death about it, you're confused why you got the teacher you got. Whatever it is your emotional well-being is in this state right now doesn't matter, because your coordinates have been given, especially to light workers, teachers, empaths, crystal children, all across the world. The seed keepers, the grid keepers, the earth keepers, the light workers have all gotten their assignments in August. Now, depending on where your quantum focal point is, depends on if you're understanding what those coordinates are. But it doesn't really matter, because your higher self is now navigating your life. Your will feels like it's not your own at times, but it is, but it's from a higher level of an adult spiritual being versus the childlike tantrum that is constantly wanting the instant gratification of being loved right now. The love that's coming for you, you cannot imagine. The soul mate that's coming, and I don't mean in physical form, but the reflection of who you are. Your higher self is saying, leave everyone out of this and become the soulmate with me. Be with me right now. Stop trying to be with everyone. Stop trying to be what everyone needs. It's time to be with me. Because until you're with me, you won't know where you're going and how to get there. I need you to stop being distracted right now, and I need you to connect with me. And that's why your higher self is keeping you from everything that you feel like you're being kept from. And that could be money, because what kind of money is a distraction for you? What fears, worries, third dimensional belief systems does money pile up within you? If that's the thing that your higher self has taken away, it's saying, be me, which I am money, I am energy, I am the flow of the universe, I am abundant, I'm not getting my abundance. Relationships have to be fulfilled within The soulmate has to be developed within for you to have any sort of relationship outside of you that is actually going to work for you, where you're going. The lunar eclipse really stirred the pot. If I were to look at you like a big soup, a lot of your ingredients had settled to the bottom. The lunar eclipse stirred the pot. The Lion's Gate seasoned it all up, and the solar eclipse is going to be the greatest wake-up call that the planet has ever had. And isn't it ironic that the best viewing of the solar eclipse will be right here in the United States? It will be the biggest availability to see it for the longest period of time. And what does the United States represent? The United States represents the melting pot of the world. Everybody moved here with the intention to be free. This is the place on the planet that most of the devastation, most of the fighting, and most of the insecurity, yet most of the intent for freedom resides all here. It's all here. And so for us to be able to leave our homes, drive, and watch a solar eclipse, what does this represent galactically? Well, the divine is so much more intelligent than we could ever imagine, and it knew that people were going to leave their homes to go see this. And so this is a porthole that, through physical recognition, is going to wake up the planet. Whether they're inside on their smartphone or outside looking directly at it, the coordinates for the wake-up call of the great 5D planet is going to be ignited on the 21st. That means the world is going to change. And that just like 12-12-21, was it 12-21-12, when the light workers woke up, right? And we're like, whoa, this is due. That was the big wake-up call for light workers. Well, this one is the world's wake-up call. And they're going to need you. They need you. Because you've been at this longer. You're not getting the coordinates to wake up on the 21st. You're getting the coordinates to grow up. To be the light worker. To stop being the seed and be the advocate of love. To be the light worker of love, not the teacher of love. To show up, to grow up, to be there, to stand in your own presence. And that's why you're being purified of all of your fears, all of your abandonment issues, all of your loneliness right now, because you cannot feel those feelings where you're going. That's what the people who are going to be waking up are going to be feeling. And you need to know how that feels, but only through a level of compassion, not because you're going through it. So you're on a fast track right now, and everything you need to do to catch up with your purification point is happening right now if you're a light worker on this planet. Which means that these are not easy times. You're having to stand in responsibility. You're just having to move out of shame and guilt of your own self. You're having to move out of self-judgment. I am who I am. And now as the world awakens, we know that the world awakens quickly through what? Through pain. So you can guarantee war. We can guarantee the probabilities of that being affected somewhere on the planet. And we can guarantee that you may not notice it because you're so on the journey of within, but the people around you are going to be going through what they need to go through in order to wake up. Because every negative is a shortcut. And the fastest way through ascension is through moving through suffering. Because what happens when we move through suffering, we decide we don't want to suffer. When we're comfortable and when everybody else is responsible for making our decisions, we don't change and we don't grow. We remain an entitled population of third-dimensional, unawakened, unevolved people. So as this solar eclipse integrates this grand message that will be given through the physical body that we've been getting through DNA, through our breath work, through our meditation, through our awakenings, through our friends, through our love connections, through nature, through music, through sound, through color. They are going to get it from the planet itself and through the galactic energy of the one. And it's going to penetrate the body because they don't know how they feel. Empaths, you know how you feel. That's how we got the download sooner. That's how we got our coordinates earlier. Because we're in touch with the feeling centers of our being. We have the remembrance of higher self. We know that this isn't where we're supposed to be, but we're supposed to create love here. We know that we were supposed to come here uncomfortable and create a planet that was moving into the direction of love. And we ourselves was going to be the reflection of love, because example is the only method of teaching where you're going. You must be the example in order to teach. Your words will carry nothing if you're not living the energetic signature of who you say you are. And that's why you're being purified right now. You're not being punished. You're not being overlooked by the universe. You are being purified so that you may be free to walk your talk. Isn't that the greatest thing we wish for? Doesn't mean it's always easy. Sometimes we want to hit the rewind button, the snooze button. Sometimes we just want to have what we want to have. But we must understand that where we're going, we will have everything and more that we ever imagined. But it will be encased in the truest vibrations of love, not desire. Not the absence of love. It's not about things, it's about love. And love is actually how we're going to transcend what the whole world is about to go through. We're going to be the compassionate ear to listen to what people are going through when they're losing everything. When they're losing their homes, when their families are at war, when they can't trust their government anymore. Do you know not trusting your government was the greatest gift you've ever been given? Because to trust your government means, here's my power, deal my dealings, create my fate. But when you don't trust what's happening outside of you, what do? You take your power back. In 2017 is the solar plexus integration of the heart chakra. You are here to take your power back, the power of love, not the power of power. That's what we're fighting against. Power of power versus the power of love. That's the only thing that's going to work. And as you are pushed into self-love right now, you will be a walking example of wholeness, of love. And as you do that, all you have to do is grace anyone with your presence. You don't have to speak. You don't have to write books. You don't have to paint pictures. You just have to hold that state of being of who you know you are, and that's where you're being pushed and groomed for right in this time. So as we move through the big changes, and things feel confusing and scary and lonely, reach out. I've created lots of communities. Other teachers have created huge communities. There is intentional communities. There are places all over the planet where light workers knew this was coming and have already begun to integrate places for you to come and find shelter, and even if it's just an ear, to find safety and security with what's going to be happening, because it's going to be your job to begin to lead. And that doesn't mean that you're going to stand up here and you're going to talk to Facebook like I'm doing, but it means that you're going to be leading by your own example. And so whatever you're being purified right now for will be your greatest strength, because you've lived through it. There is no greater compassion than someone who has walked through their own fire. There is no such thing as wisdom without experience. The experience that you've gained over your journey of awakening is your PhD on this planet. That is the university of you. And you know what? You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be you. You're here to be a unique puzzle piece that fits perfectly into the divine and creates one big picture. And we can't do this without you. And we can't do this. We cannot help those who are waking up if we do not stand in our own truth. And maybe that's not my truth. Maybe that's your truth. But my words will resonate the truth within you, and you can find your own truth, and you can connect with that, and you can start disseminating in the way that is the path of least resistance and the highest level of excitement to your soul, whether that be painting a picture or hugging someone or telling your story of how you survived the last 5 years. How did you survive the last 5 years? Do you know that that story alone could stop someone from killing themselves? That story alone of your survival could stop someone from hating their journey? It's time to tell your stories. And as you tell your stories, the ancient stories will come up from inside of you, and you'll be able to give those away too, because as you begin to speak and become to be who you really are, you begin to remember everything that you ever were, because you aren't this person sitting in this chair or on this couch listening to my words. You are the universe in human form. You have the totality of the information. You have been through every war. You have been through every aspect of love. You have been the duality of good and bad, and you spent time on both sides integrating and learning what duality actually means when it's neutralized and becomes love. You are the alchemist, and the alchemist's job is to show the way. You become the gold, and then you share it with others. Yes, you have to dive down deep into the dirt to find your own gold, and this is how we do it. We do it through love. We do it through art. We do it through caring. We do it through compassion. We do it through being of service. This is the place where you need to be right now if you find yourself completely lost. Go into the highest level of excitement that you could find and honor your divine pain at will and create purpose out of it. What is the thing that is causing you the greatest pain in your reality right now? That right there will birth your purpose. Every major person who has ever become a guru or the number one top of their game has started from a place of deep level of desire and suffering to be more. So you take that suffering and you turn it into power, and you share it, and you show everyone how you did it, and how you actually share it with the world is your highest excitement. That is the definition of divine purpose. In order to know your purpose at all, you must know the dark side of it. You must know the shadow aspects of your purpose before you share your purpose. Because the people who are going to need to know about your purpose, experience your purpose, and be part of your purpose are diving through the deepest parts of themselves looking for their own gold and their own process at this time. And it is you who have to go through it faster. You're being asked to go through it faster. You're being asked to be more aware. You're being asked to be more responsible, and that means to respond. You're being asked to get real intimate with yourself, because that means into me I see. And find that soulmate within yourself, the one that you've continued to abandon over and over and over again, and search for it in other people, and then have become very unsatisfied with what you find, because no one is you. No one can give you you. No one knows your universe. They know their universe. They may be able to dance in yours, but they can't be yours. So you must be the fulfillment of your own prophecy, which is the divine essence of self-love and connecting with the soulmate within you. That will connect the three aspects of yourself, the me, myself, and I. The conscious, the subconscious, the unconscious realms within you will become whole. Light will ignite through all aspects of yourself, and you will no longer be at war with you. See, when you're at war with you, you want someone outside of you to stop the war. So you go seeking for someone to end the war within you. And they always let you down, don't they? They're there to let you down because it's not their job to end the war within you, just like it's not our government's job to end this war. It's our job to sit and turn off the false fear TV, sit in gratitude and meditation for what is going right on this planet, and move into alignment with that righteousness and hold that space. That's your job. Your job is not to look and go, I give up. I'm scared. I'm an empath. I gotta go hide. Your job is to turn it off and say, I believe what I believe, and I believe that we're here for love, and I am going to actually generate that in my body right now. I'm going to give it away. Right here in my living room. I'm going to go hug a tree. I'm going to go paint a picture. I'm going to go hug some kids. I'm going to go feed some homeless people. Being part of the solution will fast track your journey right now. Now, you have something called choice, which is the greatest aspect of freedom. You can choose to do this the difficult way. I know I have at times. Or you can fast track this and surrender to love. That doesn't mean give up. That means I surrender to my higher self, and everything that shows up in every moment is perfectly divine, and it is my next step to the great beyond, which is heaven. Even if what's happening right now is a broken leg or a car accident, that is my next step, because through that I'm going to learn a better sense of myself. I'm going to blow through some fear. I'm going to break some charges. I'm going to move into neutrality. I'm going to unfold my heart center. And I need tragedy, and I need pain, and I need suffering, because I'm too distracted to recognize anything that doesn't feel uncomfortable. We're being asked to be more present. And what brings you present? Usually the quickest, pain. So if you're not highly present in this body of yours, your life, your higher self, your universe will generate some sort of pain for you to get focused. Okay, I've got a situation I've got to figure out. I got to get in my body. I got to be here now. And then, wow, look at how we just did that. High five, self. We just got through it. You become your soulmate that way. And I will tell you that your suffering will end when you stop making that someone else's responsibility. When you stop making it the government's responsibility, or your family's responsibility, or your spouse's responsibility, or your children's responsibility for you to have a soulmate relationship with yourself. If anything, they're all spiritual teachers in the dark shadows to create the suffering because you're not getting it from them, and you do move into divine understanding of yourself. Well, they're not giving me what I'm needing. I'm going to have to get it from myself. Higher self is like, exactly. So this is between you and you now. As the world wakes up, they're going to need you more than ever. And it does not matter how you show up for them as long as it's an example of love and light. And that doesn't mean be love and light to strangers and be darkness in your own home. That means walk and talk. Be the same person with the mask on and off. Be the same person that's sitting on the floor, surrounded by bills, screaming kids, resentful relationships, than you are when you're out teaching a class about Reiki. Be that same person. And your behavior, if it is impeccable, you will not have to go through any suffering. But it's going to be about disciplining that relationship within. Don't you want to be proud of yourself? Don't you love that feeling when you are proud of yourself? Doesn't matter if you did like one thing off your to-do list today. You're like, yes, I'm awesome. I need a bubble bath. Right? Like, because you deserve it. 5D manifestation is instant. And if you believe that you deserve it, can you imagine what you could create? If you were finally able to move away from a fear paradigm, imagine what you could create in 5D. So all of your fear is being purged, and guess what? You're noticing. You're not that scared, are you? You're not as scared as you thought you would when you're manifesting the things that you've manifested over the last 6 months. Doesn't mean it wasn't a punch in the gut, but you're really not as scared as you thought you would be. You'd be a lot more scared this time last year if the things that were happening right now are happening to you. You're actually having a lot more courage within you now. Are you recognizing that? The Leo energy is helping so much with us moving into this divine, creative, childlike courage. This is the child that can jump off the roof and believe it can fly. This is the energy that you're going to need in order to get through the rest of this month. You're going to need that childlike courage. Childlike courage is like wonder. Well, none of this makes sense. I'm confused. But I know how I feel. And I know where I'm going. Even if I don't know exactly where I'm going, I know that my GPS, my internal guidance system, my intuition, whether I'm completely excited or I'm completely anxious, is completely working. Because anxiety and excitement are the same frequencies divided by negative and positive energy. So if I wake up, which I did this morning, completely anxious, I was channeling some of my excitement through the negative part of myself because I was thinking about the collective place. But that doesn't mean that my intuition is not working. It means that the world is becoming alive. And I received a message the first time I channeled for me. And it was an I am message. Because this was my question all the time. Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing here? What am I doing? What am I doing? And my higher self spoke to me for the first time, and she said, I am here to love the world back to life. That's your job. The world is going to come alive again. The colors are going to become more vivid. Your feelings are going to become stronger, not weaker. But they're going to be backed in the heart center, not the root center of survival. All of this feeling and the sensation that's going to be moving through you is going to be coming from your heart. And this solar eclipse is going to be the activation point for you guys, the light workers, the empaths, the seed, the grid makers, the earth keepers. The final activation of our heart chakra. As the rest of the world wakes up to their mind, we wake up to our hearts. And it is our job now to lead by example. So, a lot going on in August. And it's going to feel like pressure. It's going to feel like an intense workout. It's going to feel like mental warfare at times. And that's why, more than ever, you do not need teachers. You need companionship. You need resources. You need non-judgmental places, people, circumstances, and events that you may find shelter while you're integrating. It's like a caterpillar looking for its cocoon. I recommend finding the safe cocoon right now and weathering the storm by feeling what you need to feel and totally surrendering the circumstances and events that are playing out right now is nothing more than a purge. Everything that's manifesting right now is so perfect for you. It is perfectly divine because it's getting in the deepest places of your shadow and it's bringing light to them, even if it's through a tough time. So in this now time, I'm going to ask if there's any questions that I can answer. Do we have any online?
None online right
Okay.
now.
What's happening in Nashville?
Okay, good question. Well, Nashville, what does Nashville represent? Music. And what is music?
Vibration.
Vibration. And music is the sound vibration. Wakes up the collective faster than anything. Okay? And so, the people that are going to be able to directly watch the eclipse, because there is a very, very, very good spot for them, all divine, are going to get new coordinates as musicians. Because all artists, musicians, storytellers, writers, poets, mothers, fathers, are going to get new coordinates from the solar eclipse. And musicians are going to be upping their game. And they're going to get the downloads directly from this process. So what we're going to do is we're going to be hearing a lot from Nashville in the next couple of years, and it's all going to be very interesting music. It's going to be the sounds of our freedom. It's going to be the storytelling process. Because if you listen to what kind of music comes out of Nashville, it's all storytelling, isn't it? It's the soundtrack of our lives. And as Hollywood becomes to be exposed for its false light, music and theater will come back in a huge way to tell the stories of the ascension. It won't be Hollywood's masquerade. It will be the true storytellers of the planet. We'll come alive and we'll share this. There's also a huge, huge availability for us here in Kansas and Missouri to watch this eclipse. And what does Kansas and Missouri represent as far as the chakra system of the United States? We are the heart center. We are the heart of the dove. And so being here in the Bible Belt of the heart's dove, of the heart chakra of the United States, we have an opportunity to get new coordinates faster and stronger. Which means there's going to be a lot of people in your town waking up. A lot of people with questions. Who am I? What am I doing? There's going to be a grand light switch that's going to be turned on by this. And the zombies will begin to awaken. And you will be that sheep herder that you know you are, and you will be surrounded by sheep that are literally begging for you to be of assistance. The people who judged you last year are going to ask you if you're hiring this year. The people who were telling you that you are crazy last year are going to be calling you and going, hey, so last year you were telling me about something called Reiki. Can you talk about that? You know. So you're going to get those calls. So you're going to be asked to be more of yourself. And the reason why you haven't been wanting to be more of yourself is because you didn't want to be alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. There are TV networks going up all over the planet on spiritual 24-hour-a-day content. We started out with Gaia. In the last 6 months, 4 new TV networks have opened up that are 24 hours a day streaming live teachings of spiritual teachers, and people who were, normally like a Tony Robbins are all coming out of their shells, and we're going to be leading by example. So there's no absence of resources. There is no absence of support. Find the message that resonates at your biological and spiritual truth and follow it until you download your own. And when you download your own, share it with as many people as you possibly can in whatever forum, opportunity, or medium that you choose. And that is going to be the way that we're going to move into the light as a collective, and this will not be a lonely journey. There won't be any place you go where someone isn't talking about things that you already know about. But it's going to be a scary time for them, and they're going to go through the pain changes of just like it is to break down, break through. So as their worlds break down, you're going to remember what it felt like when yours did that, and you're going to have a deep level of compassion and understanding for them. The cool thing about it is they're going to move much faster than you did. The planet itself is guiding that process. I've watched my students go in 6 months what took me 6 years. So I can see the evolution in the time and the light speeding up on the planet. Yes, Amber?
There's someone online, Servito Fernandez, is asking you to speak briefly about the politics for the world.
Politics for the world? Everything's going to shit. No, excuse me. So, well, what's happening right now is one big ego tantrum. It's the last bout of power over power. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. That is the collective political movement right now. And the light workers are growing in numbers every single day, and they're whispering in the ears of the politicians, it's ours. It's ours. It's ours. And so that conflict of I don't want to believe in this is going to create more conflict. You can guarantee more conflict. You can guarantee more childlike behavior. But there is a new crop of politicians that is moving slowly into office. We've got light workers in the banking systems. We've got light workers in the IRS. We've got light workers in the government. So do not think that your world is going to be destroyed right in front of your face. You're just going to shift into a new one. And the only way that we will be able to understand that we don't need that is to see the true colors of everything. So the truth will be exposed of the politics of our planet in the next 8 months. And in the next 5 years, all of the ancient cities will be recovered, and all of our true history will be recovered on the planet, and there will be no more lies. No more. But we have to go through it in order to get to the other side. We have to go through the dark forest in order to get to our happily ever after. And that's what we're bracing ourselves for right now. That's why we need to be an example, because these are not going to be easy times. It's going to be difficult not to look at the news and be afraid of that. You're going to have to look at that news and go, that's why I'm here. I'm here because this is happening. I'm here because this is happening. That's why I came. Let's get this party going. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to hold space. I'm supposed to be the light. I'm not supposed to talk about it. I'm supposed to be it, no matter what is happening around me. So it's going to get worse before it gets better, just like a flu. The world is going through a flu process, a detoxification, a purification. And in order to purify itself, it has to go into the darkest spaces of itself and expose everything. So we're going to be exposing the truth. And you know what? Whether you channel that through anger or love, we all get there. Love wins. Every probability in the quantum reality states that we win. So don't have fear. Just get your armor on. Just get your aspects on. Just get your talents together. Get your gifts in order and become the light. Because that's what the world needs, is your light to balance out the dark. Yeah.
Melanie Walker asks, what do you mean when you say hold space?
Hold space. So a light worker's job is to be light, no matter what is happening around itself. And what do I mean by light? I mean photonic energy, or the frequency of unconditional love. That's the definition of light. Okay? So when someone is attacking you, do you attack back? Because that's not what a light worker does. A light worker stands in love regardless of what's happening. Regardless of what is happening circumstantially, a light worker holds the state of being that I am love. I am love. I am love. So instead of going out and solving so-and-so's problems, just be a light in the dark for them. Your job is not to wake anybody up. Your job is to lead them once they awaken. This is very important because your heart bleeds for those who will not wake up. Come on, it's so much fun, let's go, let's go. No, your job is to lead those who awaken with love. Your job is also to plant seeds of love for the ones who don't love themselves. The ones who do not love themselves is going to be your scariest enemies because they are going to challenge the light within you. They are going to call you crazy. They are going to tell you that you're a bad person. They're going to throw out all of it. But what they're saying underneath is, I forgot how to love myself, and I can feel that you love yourself, and so I'm trying to get your attention, and the only attention I know how to get is negative. So what it is, as someone is attacking you, they are saying, I know you're a light worker. Please help me. And as a light worker, we have to be able to feel that because we're empaths. We feel the wounded child underneath the bad behavior. And we love the child underneath instead of the circumstances that they generate. That is what it means to hold space, is to be love regardless of what is happening. Because once you move out of love and you move into the problem, you're part of the problem. As soon as you defend yourself, you're part of the problem. The Christ consciousness says, turn the other cheek. But what that actually means is stand in the position of love, and as someone is attacking you, say, I love you. I see the pain underneath, and that's why you're attacking me, because you're really attacking yourself, and you just want to be seen and heard and loved. So I'm going to be the one that can stand here in the midst of war, in the midst of hard times, in the midst of you attacking me, and I'll be the one that loves you. Because that's your job as a light worker. Anything else, you become part of the problem, and that's why this is taking so long. This is taking so long because we're light workers when it doesn't directly affect us. We're light workers when we can move away from the relationship. But when it is an intimate situation, we move into the lower vibrations and we move into duality of the challenge with them instead of being the light in the dark. That's what holding space is. The definition of holding space is to be the light in the dark. So right now, where everything is going to break down, how can you be the light? How can you be the laughter? I know we do that a lot. We sit there, something manifests, we all look at each other, we're like, all we can do is laugh. We have no other solution except to just laugh at what has just transcended. Like literally. Laughter, storytelling, art, sound, love. Holding space is also giving your gift away and not needing anything in return. See, holding space is just always a gift. It's never about receiving anything back. It's never holding space for someone who's attacking you and then expecting you an apology. Because it might be lifetimes before the seed you just planted will grow within them. It's not your job to dictate the timing of their awakening. It is your job to hold space and light when they do. Does that make sense? Okay, we got one more question.
We've got one person online who's commenting about empaths and crying. Mm-hmm. And holding space. Mm-hmm. Sometimes being a light worker means you have to cry for others.
Oh, empaths, you're crying for many other people than yourselves. A lot of times when you're crying, and you're like, I don't know why I'm crying, you're crying for those who can't cry. You're weeping for those who can't weep. You're going through the experiences that they will not allow themselves to feel. That's how important you are. And if you're there to make them laugh, then that's the same holding space. Because again, see, when you're holding space, you're not trying to fix the problem. You're just trying to shine love on the problem. Fixing the problem is actually part of being in the problem. Because if I'm trying to fix your problem, you know where that's coming from? I don't want you to feel that. I don't want to feel the emotion of your problem, so I need to fix it for you. Which makes me move into a lower frequency, and now we're both in a sinking ship. But if you tell me the worst possible story that you could tell me, or a manifestation, and I just sit here and bust up laughing, 9 times out of 10, you're going to laugh with me. Because you're going to look at it and go, I know, right? And all of a sudden, we both moved into a higher vibration, and now we can actually work through the challenge, which is not a problem. A challenge is a duel. I challenge you with my solution. There are no problems, because anytime anything is generated, manifested, or created, duality is birthed within it, which means there's a positive and a negative side of everything. And there's a positive and a negative side of war. And if we have to awaken through this war process while we're being completely divinely guided from the planet herself and the light workers that it sits with, we're going to be fine. Because the playing field finally leveled up. For a really long time on this planet, it has been light, dark. And guess what's happening on the 21st? Bam! Balance point. So now it's going to be a real fun challenge. Because you know what? We're just as big as they are. Yes.
And do you think now that things are lightening up, some of the spirit realms, the fairies and the unicorns are all coming through?
They've all been here.
They've always been here.
Yeah.
But do you think some of them are coming through stronger now, or people will be able to see or feel them more?
There are people on the planet right now channeling all those energies.
Repeat the question.
She said, now that the lightness has balanced out on the planet, are we going to be able to see more of the realms, the fairies, the unicorns? Your sense of sight depends on your level of fear and your biochemistry. When you lighten up yourself, you will see everything. Okay? So when you let go of fear and you change the paradigm of belief that I cannot see the other realms, you will see everything. Because there's nothing ever been hidden from you except your own belief system. And sometimes you needed to shut certain parts of yourself down so you could focus on your mission here. And then when you're ready, you'll open that all up. But what will happen first is the planet will begin to awaken to itself. Because again, if I start seeing unicorns and fairies everywhere, am I really going to work on self-love? No. So I've got to master my self-love. I've got to find those fairy tales within me. And then when I become whole, I will see everything. But everything has always been here. Everything walks among us. The veil is so thin that we walk amongst everything, all dimensions, all at once. We walk with the hybrids, we walk with the ETs, we walk with the fairy realms, we walk with the dragons. There is nothing that is not part of your collective, but your higher self is keeping you focused where it needs to keep you focused right now. And when that unveils, you will be able to see what you need to see for your next step. But it's very calculated by your higher self right now what it is that you're allowed to be exposed to that is going to help you become the biggest, strongest version of yourself. A lot of people on the planet are channeling their inner dragon, channeling their inner mermaid, channeling their inner fairy in their work, in their purpose. People all over the world are channeling the ancients, the multi-dimensions, the parallel realities through their physical form. They're going out and changing their hair color and changing their state of being to represent of more of who they are. So the world's not going crazy, it's waking up. Does that answer your question? So you allow yourself to see what you need to see when you need to see it, and you won't see it before. So when you want to see something outside of you, you look within. You see it first on the inside. Yes? We got time for one more.
Carolyn Nadeau is asking about twin flames.
Twin flames? What's the question?
She says, what about twin flames?
Yeah, what about them? Well, my definition of a twin flame and other people's definitions of a twin flame are very different. Mine comes from a kind of Palladian aspect of a twin flame is here to shock you awake. Okay? Through both pain and pleasure. It's the epitome of duality in a human form. It is a very intoxicating yet very painful relationship or experience. Okay? And those are the people who we have those heroin type of relationships with. That's a love-hate, that we're both being built up and destroyed simultaneously in the relationship. Those relationships are your fast track to awakening. See, to me, a twin flame is a relationship. Two universes relating to each other, bumping up against each other's wounds. Right? I see your wound, I see your wound, why won't you fix mine, why won't you fix mine? Now I hate you. First I loved you, now I hate you. I hate you, I love you. That's the relationship of the twin flame that can morph into a soulmate. But a soulmate is a complete being that finds another complete being, and through the birth of that relationship, expansion happens. See, twin flame relationships, your life contracts. Your life contracts, and then you build from the ashes. A soulmate relationship is two whole people coming together for huge expansion. You know you have soulmate relationships when you feel the best about yourself, not the worst. Okay? This could be your dog, this could be your cat, this could be your art. You can have a soulmate relationship with your art. A soulmate does not mean a person. It's a feeling, it's a connection, it's a state of being. And you will not really attract that within your being until you yourself are first a soulmate with your higher self. Otherwise, we keep getting twin flames, and we got lots of those. Yes?
We have one last question. They're asking if you can offer insight into soul contracts.
Soul contracts, yeah. Everything that you think is random is all been completely divined and orchestrated for you, by you, before you came. So there is nothing that is ever happening in your experience that you did not set up for yourself way beforehand. Everything is soul contracted. We do have choice in how we play out those contracts, but the contracts are in already effect, and they are based in the frequency and vibration of your choosing, which means that when you are in a lower vibration, you have soul contracts, and when you're in a higher vibration, you have different ones. So you're playing out your soul contracts with people, places, circumstances, opportunities, and events that line up perfectly with your self-realization process. Which means that before we incarnated, Amber and I sat on a cloud, and we said, okay, so I'm going to play this for you, and you're going to play this for me, and I'm going to push this button, and I'm going to inspire you over here, and I'm going to guide you here, and I'm going to lead you here, and you're going to do this the same for me, and through that process, we're going to move through our evolutionary process very quickly. It's like characters reading scripts behind a screen before they go and become the actors. That is a soul contract. So there has never been anyone that's ever even bumped into you that you didn't have a soul contract with. If you witnessed it, seen it, felt it, dreamed about it, watched it, it's a contract for you. Now, the more evolved you become, there are certain contracts that don't need to be fulfilled because they were only there to fill you to smack you awake. So you're constantly shifting and changing the architecture within yourself as you evolve. And you line up with different soulmates and twin flames based in what it is that you need to purify the quickest. If you need to purify fear the quickest, I feel sorry for the soulmate or the twin flame you're going to attract. Because that's going to birth inside of you your fast track through fear. Your fast track through safety issues. Your fast track through abandonment issues. You're going to attract the perfect relationship, people, places, things, events, circumstances, events that are going to perfectly line up with you moving into a fast track position as an empath and light worker. Which means that, welcome to college. Welcome to the job market of the universe. We are no longer in elementary school. We are no longer in kindergarten. We actually now have to take all of our practical learning and we have to go out there and we have to live it. And when we do attract a twin flame, our job is to say, what am I learning here about myself? What are the feelings that I'm feeling from this person? Not this person, not this thing, not this loss, but what am I feeling because of it? Take the feeling, dive into it with higher self, expose it in and move it back into love, purify the feeling, and then the symbols will disappear. But the symbols will keep showing up for you if you are denying or suppressing parts of your energetic feeling. You have to expose it all. And you will manifest the soul contracts that will help you do that the quickest. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Well, I really want to thank everybody for coming today. I want to urge you all into your arts. I want you to urge you all into your storytelling. I want to urge you all into your teachings. Although we will constantly always be students, we do have a job to do, and that is to be the spiritual leaders of the planet through the darkest hour. We're going through the darkest hour, but we have the most light. We have enough light to make it through without really even batting an eyelash. But we have to remember who we are in order to not be afraid of what's coming. And if it's coming within your own life, it's an opportunity for you to be a light worker for yourself for once. If the shadows are showing up right in your own mind, it's an opportunity for you to be the light worker of your own mind. and hold that wounded child within you, and then you will learn how to do that for everyone else. Heal yourself to become the healer. Free yourself to teach people about freedom. Love yourself to become love. And the very essence of love will spread through the heart chakra, which is connected to every other heart chakra in the universe. The universe has a heart chakra. And by you being love, you activate it quicker and faster. When we become part of the problem, we slow this situation down. When we remember who we are, no matter how scared we are, and we move into love and we move out of fear, the times will change so quickly and so abundantly for all of us that we'll finally actually say, I like being here. So thank you you guys for coming today. This is always a vulnerable time for me because of what we're channeling. I feel it a lot in my solar plexus, and I just appreciate you guys being in live audience and online. And we have different forums right now for community for you to tap into. I've created as many different forums as I can for everybody on different aspects of their journey. My favorite place to teach right now is obviously TICA, which is Transcendence International Consciousness Academy, but I've actually put it on Facebook so that everyone can get the live channeled teachings every week. And that's a subscription group, And then I have a community that's free that I just do energy updates, and we share a lot of the magic that's going on around us with our A-team. And then we have a tribe, Quantum Life Tribe, where that is for you to share your stories. That's for you to connect with other like-minded people. That's for you to become the teacher and the student all in one house, right under the safety of good old Facebook. So, and you can check out my new website. It's jessicaalstrom.com, and we've got a lot of magical things going on there as well. I just wish you all love and light, and I wish you, for the rest of this month, that you do nothing other than connect with the greater version of yourself and fall madly in love with you. Thank you, guys.
Yay!